Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome to another episode of the Sacred Man Experience podcast. And I am your host, Imran Muhammad. Here we speak about the journey of manhood through the lens of faith, how to be strong but also soft, how to lead but also to listen. Today's episode is called Mastering the Fire, Anger Management for the Sacred Man. The volcanic heart. Let's be real today. I want to talk to the man who feels like he's walking around with a loaded gun in his chest. You are successful. You are driven. You are the alpha in your environment. But there's a shadow side to that drive. It's the flash of rage when a junior staff member makes a mistake. It's the red mist that descends when someone cuts you off in traffic. It's the sharp, biting words you use against your wife or children. Words that you regret the moment they leave your mouth. But the damage is already done. You tell yourself it's just stress or passion. But deep down, you know that your anger is a leak in your power. Allah the Almighty says in His holy book, Al Quran, describing the righteous. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. Truly, Allah has spoken the truth. And those who restrain anger and who pardon the people, and Allah loves the doers of good. Surah Al Imran, Surah 3, verse number 135. Notice, the Quran doesn't say those who never feel anger. That's very significant. It says those who restrain it. Today, we learn how to master the fire before it consumes the house you've worked so hard to build. The anatomy of the outburst. From a behavioral coaching and NLP perspective, anger is often a secondary emotion. It is a protective layer over something more vulnerable, usually fear, exhaustion, or a feeling of being disrespected. In NLP, we look at the anger strategy. You have a specific sequence of internal pictures and sounds that lead to an outburst. Perhaps you see an internal movie or things going wrong. You hear a voice saying to you, "You're taking advantage of me." And your psychology kicks into a high cortisol state. By the time you start shouting, you've already run the program 90%. We need to create a pattern interrupt. We need to widen the gap between the trigger and the response. Most high achieving men use anger as a tool for control. It works in the short term, there's no doubt about that. People move faster when you're angry. But it destroys rapport and long-term influence. In my work of working with individuals who are incarcerated, many of these prisoners, they find when they are loud, when they scream, when they shout, when they react in that very aggressive and anger way, people move. But guess what? That only lasts for a very short period of time. So we will use dissociation techniques When you feel the heat rising of this particular fire within your body, we want you to float out of your body and look at yourself. When you see a grown man losing control, the submodalities change. The anger loses its gravity. We're moving you from being in the fire to being the master of the forge. The strength of the soul. The sacred man is not a weak man. No. He is a man with a sword who chooses to keep it in his sheath. Imam Zahid al-Balkhi, in his Sustenance of the Soul, mentioned and warned that anger is a mental illness if left unchecked, leading to the ruin of the body and the spirit. He suggested that a man must treat his anger with like a wild beast that needs to be tamed through constant vigilance. The Holy Prophet, Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, the model of sacredness, the model of a sacred man, gave us the ultimate definition of masculinity. ومن قول رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام ليس الشديد بالسرعة إنما الشديد الذي يملك نفسه عند الغضب. The Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, in a saying which is narrated in Al-Bukhari, the strong man is not the one who can wrestle, but the one who controls himself during the state of anger. And what did he, peace and blessing be upon him, tell the man who came asking for advice? What did he say? La taghdab. Do not get angry. He repeated this exact statement 3 times. Ibn al-Qayyim explains that anger comes from the shaitan and fire. This is why the prophetic remedy is so biological. ومن قول رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام, he says from the sayings of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, إن الغضب من الشيطان, that indeed anger comes from the devil. وإن الشيطان خلق من النار, the devil was created of fire. وإنما تطفى النار بالماء, and fire is extinguished only with water. فإذا غضب أحدكم فليتودع. Amazing. So when one of you becomes angry, he should perform ablution. Narrated in Abu Dawood. The sacred experience of mastering anger is realizing that every time you hold your tongue for the sake of Allah, you are being filled with nur, light, hikmah, wisdom. You are moving from the state of a predator to the state of a, no doubt, protector. The cooling system. Brothers, it's time to upgrade your internal software. Here is your sacred man protocol for today. Number 1, the 6-second gap. This is the pattern interrupt that we are embedding within ourselves. The moment you feel the heat in your chest, count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This forces your brain to move from from the amygdala, emotional center, to the prefrontal cortex, the logical center. In those mere 6 seconds, ask, is this response worthy of a sacred man? When someone is trying to get you angry, trying to get you get under your skin, is it worth it? Within them 6 seconds, that is what you are asking. Number two, how to deal with this fire. The prophetic posture shift. If you are angry while standing, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, sit down. If you are sitting, the glorious Prophet, peace be upon him, said, lie down. This isn't just a ritual. It is physiological recalibration. It changes your center of gravity and drops your heart rate. A simple behavior which helps to change your state of being. Let me give you another one. Number three, the wudu. This is the circuit breaker. When the red mist descends, go to the bathroom or go to a source of water. Splash cold water on your face. The mammalian dive reflex will instantly slow your nervous system. As the water drips, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Because like the Prophet said, that ghadab, that anger is from the shaitan. It is like the Satan because it is fire. So when you seek refuge, I seek refuge in none other than Allah from the accursed devil. Let me give you another step, another practical way of dealing with this. When you are slowly bubbling and you are getting to that state where there's going to be an outburst. Number 4, the soft response challenge. This we're going to look at today. When someone provokes you, and what I want you to do is I want you to implement this in the coming weeks. Try this for 1 week first. Okay? So if someone tries to provoke you, may that be at work or at home, okay, they are deliberately lower your volume. Speak quieter and slower. Watch how it disarms the other person and keeps you in the alpha position of total self-control. Fire can cook your food and warm your home, or it can burn your life to the ground. You decide. A sacred man uses his energy to build, not to blast. You have the strength, now find the stillness. In the next episode, we're going to discuss the burden of leadership. We'll talk about the weight of being the provider and the boss, and how to lead others without losing your own soul in this particular process. Until then, I want you to implement, bring within your life practice and behavior these requests that have been made in this particular podcast today. I want you to stay cool, stay controlled, and remember, you are a sacred man. Till next time, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.